Hi everybody, we'll just wait for some more participants to join and then get started. Let us give a couple of more minutes because we have very less attendees. So let's get started. Hi everyone, thank you for making time from your busy schedule and joining this session. So today we would be connected and we would see on the latest feature. So as a webinar topic today we would be covering the latest feature update. So recent feature what was delivered to you all. We'll just run through on those features. To start with the latest feature, I would be giving mainly on the recent changes only which has been happened. And we'll also give a followed up demonstration on what are those changes and where does it all apply there. So let us start a session on latest feature update. Today we would be covering four improvements in our product. One is the schedule acceptance workflow. The schedule acceptance workflow was already there and we had brought in some more improvements in the website. Now the same has been introduced on the mobile. We would be talking about more improvements in the spot and direct resolution feature we have released and the review audit legends conversion as filter and also on the improvement on the date search. So let us talk more about these features. These are the recent features, major recent features which we have released. So let us talk more over there. So first we will be talking about the schedule acceptance workflow. So as you all know, there is a schedule acceptance workflow already available in web and mobile, where auditor can manage their schedules, whether he can accept the audit or he can reject, edit or reassign the audits. And these all requests can be passed through the mobile or a web application, and all the requests would be handled by the supervisor where they can approve or reject these requests. So this workflow was well modified and was working was made available in the web. Now we have also made this available on mobile. So all such requests can go from the mobile as well. So when we have brought in the schedule acceptance workflow, we have also introduced the extension workflow module also, where the auditor can send the request from their mobile device for the extension of the audit. Earlier it was only available on web or will be managed by the reviewer. Now from the mobile device, an auditor can send this extension of audit request on the live audits which they are executing from the mobile device as well. And basis the approval or non-approval, the further actions would be considered. So let us see how this feature works. So let us switch over to the mobile device to give a demo. Just allow us to switch over to the mobile device. So you all can see a mobile device. It has already been logged in. We have logged in from one of our testing server, and the auditor has logged into his credentials. We are on the upcoming audits. So on the upcoming audits, the schedules are currently available. We have two schedules which is already present in our screen. So here, if you see the upcoming audit schedules are not in the not started status, and one is in the in progress status. So we'll talk about how this what are the changes we have brought in the mobile device. The first schedule, we will click on there is a circle sign where you can select on the particular schedule. On selection of the schedule, the below you could see accept and modify. Earlier screen, which an auditor screen had three buttons appearing below, which had accept, reject, and edit. Now reassign. Now we have made some modification to the screen, and we have brought in a UI level change where accept and modify is available. On click of modify, when an auditor clicks on modify, the option of reassign, reject, and edit is available. So other than the acceptance, if an auditor wants to take up any of these activity, he can send the request. The request will be going to the request will be going to the supervisor for the further approval. So if the auditor wants to reassign this audit, so there is an audit which is scheduled on 24th, but he wants to reassign this to the different auditor in the same vicinity. On click of the reassign, you would get a screen. I'm just clicking there. You will get a screen where you can mention the reason for why we want to reassign. If in case we have an emergency which has come up where you'll not be able to take up, so you can just mention the reason here. And then you can choose the auditor for whom you would like to allocate this to. You can just select any of the auditor whom you would want to choose, and you would be able to send this request. So on this end, this request will go to their supervisor for approval. Now let us see how the rejection also happened. We'll just click on cancel for the demo purpose. I'm not sending the request here to show the workflow because it's an existing one. So on click of modify again, we go to the reject. A reject also has a similar screen where you can mention the reason for rejection, and these rejections can be managed by their supervisor on the respective screen, whether they would like to approve or they modify the schedule. So if they would want to edit, we'll just see on edit part. We'll just cancel this and click on edit. We go to the edit screen. Edit screen has a little elaborative screen which talks about the current schedule details and also allow us to change the schedule. On click of start, you could see the calendar which will be invoked. Either the start or end date you would like to change can be mentioned here and send the request. So let us not change the request for now. I would like to show the further workflow here. So the basis the schedule date or a end date, whatever we would like to change, we can move ahead and send this request. So let us come back now. So these were something which were existing workflow, and only the modify part, the UI level change has been happened, the rest has been managed. Now I would like to show you an extension of audit. For this, let us accept this audit first and start the audit so that the audit can get into an in progress stage. So we have accepted the audit. Now we just start this audit. Let me start the audit. On the start of audit, let us just go inside a sub-audit and then the group. So let us just execute one checkpoint. Now we'll just come back. So moment when you come back, what you could see on your screen was not only the status change, you could see the status change on start of the audit as in progress, but on selection of the same schedule, you are getting a new button on the screen which says request for extension. So now the auditor at any point of the time before the audit gets submitted or before the audit end date is been expired or elapsed, the request for extension can be raised. So let us see how the request for extension happen. Let us click on request for extension. I'm selecting the date for which the extension should happen. So currently it is on the single day. I'm moving it to the 24th March. I'm also giving a reason why I would like to extend. So need more time to execute this. So let's just mention need more time. So I'm giving a reason for this and click on extend audit. So on click of extend audit, there is a notification which shows that your request has been sent to the supervisor and for that further approval. So but here in the earlier cases when schedule acceptance workflow we were seeing on the reject, reassign and all, the moment there is an reject or a reassign or an edit, the schedule used to disappear from the screen until unless it is further action from the supervisor. But in this case, because it's an extension, we retain this audit and we allow auditor to continue the audit. So auditor can go inside and execute the audit as well. So if you will just go inside the same audit, the test gen parent, and we are able to move inside and execute the audit as well, so that the work can continue from the auditor and there is the request can be handled separately by their supervisor. Now, when you come back onto the upcoming audit screen, the same audit on click of the same audit on the selection, I just select the same audit. There is a request for extension appearing, but the request when it has been initiated, the system would give us an update that already the request is being processed and further request will not be taken. So any request which is being moved to the supervisor has to get handled, and until then this request, another request would not be taken up. So this is on the request for extension. Similar request for extension will be available for all type of audits, irrespective it is single auditor, multi-auditor, parallel execution multi-auditor, or your lead auditor also. In lead auditor, there is a slight screen change which we could see. The all your schedule acceptance with the modify button would appear for the parent audit, but for the audit which are in progress, there we would have the screen slide changes. So our second audit in the upcoming audit, which says the 21st March parent general audit, is the lead auditor concept and the current auditor is only the lead auditor. So now on selection of this audit, what we could see is we have the request for extension. So request for extension is also available for this audit, as well as the manage auditor is also possible in for the lead audit. So if the lead auditor would want to modify any of the allocations and all those can be managed or can send a request for extension. So these are on the mobile side changes which we have brought in, where the such request can be done. And there's one more request which is there, which was already there in the web, but it was not there in the mobile, which we have brought in. We can have a self-schedule approval. So we already have an audit type where the self-schedule has been approval has been enabled. So all the audit type where the self-schedule approval has been enabled, any self-schedule initiated by the auditor goes to the supervisor for the approval. So let us select the audit just to show you. We have this audit where self-schedule request has been managed, has been approved. We'll just select this. We are just giving the details, schedule details. And we need to give a reason for the reason for the self schedule we are doing, so that it's easy for the approver to either decide to approve or not. So on click of submission, there is a message which comes that self schedule audit has been sent for approval. Only once it has been approved by the supervisor, it will be shown on the upcoming audit screen. So now let's move to the web audit web module side to see this workflow and also on the further changes we have. So before that, if you have any queries, request you to please write on the Q&A section. Q&A section is open. Any queries, feedback, or any questions can be raised in Q&A section. We would be taking those queries live. I think we have one query already. So let us just see that query. Says that we have created one branch audit. One second, let us just go through it. This is I think an issue which is been clarification being raised. So we will take this up in the support side. Move to the web application side now. Just allow me to change the screen. I'm logging to the web application. So all the schedule workflows or the acceptance raised from the mobile or a web application will be handled by the respective supervisor, either in the super admin or a reviewer role, or the role who have access to the schedule will have this request already available. So you have a reassign request, reject request, extension request, reschedule request, edit, then even the self-schedule request, all that will be part of the schedule module. The respective requirements can be seen here. So if you see here, we have audits which has been received for the self-schedule, and those self-schedules approvals are being seen here. Similarly, for other schedules, we can even see for extension of the request, extension request also is being mentioned here. Let me see if I have any extension here. I don't have any schedule to show up. Otherwise, we have this request in progress, all which can be either accepted or rejected. So this is where the supervisor can manage all their requests and either accept or deny the request, and the changes can be applied accordingly into the systems. So this was on the schedule acceptance workflow. So let us look at the next feature which we wanted to discuss was on the improvement in the spot and direct resolution. So when I'm running through the application, I would first show the improvements in spot and direct resolution, then followed up with the review audit and the improvements in the date range part I'll be concentrating on. So that's easy to show up. And if you have any queries, please do write to us in the support side. So in the Q&A section. Let me just share the web application again. So here as you all know, we have a spot and direct resolution already been introduced. The new feature has been introduced where an auditor can do a spot resolution and the auditee can do a direct resolution as part of the their execution or their action items as following. So here we have brought in some more information, some more improvements into this application so that the user, it's easy for the user to manage or the handle this request better. I just have a query to take up. Let me just see this. Is there any classification that the request has come from mobile or web? Currently, no, we do not have this classification. this we have not been bought in up, but in future you would be you will get this status whether the request has come from the web or the mobile. So I'm just publishing this request so that it's easy for others, and I'm responding to it as well. Just allow me to respond to this request. One more question is, are all the feature already updated? I'm not sure what is the question, but if you're talking about the latest feature we are been demonstrating now, we would like to respond as yes. So let me come back to the direct and spot resolution. So as on the demo purpose side, because with a limited time, I have already configured the audit, which I would like to show you, and also execute an audit with the spot and direct resolution. So I have just created a webinar 21 March as an audit where I have enabled both the spot and direct resolution. If you see, direct resolution has been enabled, and below we have enabled the spot resolution. So earlier we had this challenge, only one could be handled. So now both the resolutions can be done, and on selection of any spot or direct resolution, bulk finalization would be disabled because each of these resolutions has to be handled during the finalization process. Hence the bulk finalization would be disabled here. So now I have already configured this audit. I have executed the audit as well. So I'll come to the review audit directly and show the improvements which we have bought in. Now earlier when we bought this feature, we had introduced this feature for update from the auditor or from the supervisor on these schedules which are being updated with this direct and spot resolution, but there were no color indication shown. So now we have bought a color indication to such audits. So let me just select the different groups we have and then select the checkpoints, and if you could see, there is a color indication which shows. So the purple shade what you could see is the spot resolution and the green is the direct resolution. So this color indicators allow the user to have a very quick view on such features or an resolution coming up, so that each of these resolution has to be handled. So this is one improvement which we have bought where the color indication has been introduced. Now let us go inside and check. Whenever there was a spot or a direct resolution, we had only the option of the close button and only as in update button. So that has been modified because the any resolution coming up, as a reviewer also would wear the hat of a verifier and has to validate the resolution which is come and decide if the resolution provided either as a spot or a direct resolution is appropriate or not. Hence they have to either close the issue or reopen the issue. So if he is not satisfied with the resolution updated by the auditor in under the spot resolution, then the reviewer can click on reopen so that the compliance gets the reopen is being changed. So if you come inside the same checkpoint, this checkpoint is being modified and you can see that update and re-audit options are available because the closure the resolution whatever was provided was not appropriate and it was reopened. Hence there is a update and re-audit option coming. Then the supervisor can decide to take up the further action here. So then we have a direct resolution. Let us handle the direct resolution also has come from the audit, and it also would have the similar buttons of close and reopen. On the resolution information available, the user can decide whether this can be issue or the resolution can be considered as close or reopen. In this case, let us close this issue. So this has been identified. So I have closed this. When I come back to the same checkpoint, you could see update and re-audit is also seen here. So we have updated this resolution here. So once all the review is being completed, you can finalize the audit. So you can just review, and once all your checkpoints are done, you can click on reviewed. And once reviewed, these check, you can also finalize the audit. So we just finalize this audit. So this is one more improvement where the button level with the appropriate actions was introduced. And third thing what we have gotten is all this such resolution should have an indicator for an user to know whether the resolution was done on normal way or in a spot resolution or a direct resolution, because there is certain amount of efforts and a certain feature which gets updated here. So this classification of these issues has to be identified. So what we have done is all the issues or the non-compliance which have been identified on the resolution of it, with the basis the closure of the resolution type is gets tagged. So if you could see in the issue module, I am just coming to the issue module. In the issue module, there is a new column which has been introduced as resolution type. So this resolution type will let us know if there are any closure, if the audits was closed or the resolution done basis the direct or the spot resolution or in the normal way of execution. Let us show you how this works. So let me just select the cluster. I'm choosing the cluster. Selecting couple of cluster. Clicking on go. If you could see, the resolution type is blank for those issue status where still the resolution or the closure is not happened. Now let us select the issue status as closed. So because the flagging happens only for those issue resolution which are tagged as closed. So on selection of this, you can see the flagging available for all the checkpoints. And I'm just increasing this row to 20. So these are normal execution resolution which has happened. All these are closed. And let me just sort this to bring it up on top. I think I need to select one more audit type. Yes, this one. So you could see there are resolution which has happened on spot. So this resolution types gives an indicator to the user to know whether the issue non-compliance which was identified was resolved on spot or was as part of the direct resolution or our normal process being followed here. So this indicator is available in the issue module. This is there in the super admin to the reviewer. If you could just switch over to the reviewer. Reviewer issue module also you could see the resolution type, and again to the auditee also under the issue module this information can be seen. So if for example I choose the issue status as closed, this tagging would be seen already here. So there are spot resolution, then there is normal resolution. So these resolutions are made available here. And these are something which is order set, you can be able to do this. So these are the improvements which has been introduced in the spot and direct resolution. So this makes easy for user to have clear clarification and also manage the spot and direct resolutions. So let me just quickly check if there are any queries to take up. So if you have any queries, please do write to us in the Q&A section. Okay, there is this is Auditee app available for auditor and auditee both. This is not relevant to the current webinar, but still I would like to answer this. Yes, we have a mobile app available for auditor and auditee both. Auditor is there from before, and auditee has been recently introduced, and we need to subscribe for the usage part. The license part has to be discussed if you would like to use the auditee mobile app. So if you are interested in looking at the Audit app demo, or you would like to access the Audit app, kindly reach out to your relationship manager. They will be able to assist you. So there are no more queries. Let me just, if you have any queries, please do write to us. Now let me move to the next feature update. So yeah, we spoke about spot and direct resolution and all, and now coming back to the reviewer screen. I'm not sure how well you would observe this, so I'm just moving to the super admin role first. Under the review audit module, there is a change which has been brought up. So we have, let us take any audits in review. And want to take 21st century. Yeah, so there is an audit in review. So we are in process of doing the review. So let us take up all the groups we have within this sub audit. I am doing a multi-selection of this checkpoint. Now you see there are different statuses seen in different color indicator, and all these color indicators are there on top as the legends. So earlier these legends were only view, where it only shown the color indicators. Now it works as a filter. So in this current example which I'm showing, there are 4 checkpoints. Out of 4 checkpoints, 2 are being reviewed, which is in green color. If you could see, it's review successful, and the 2 checkpoints which are in review. So I would like to see only which are in review. I just click on the color indicator, and it works as a filter. On selection of a particular legend, the respective checkpoints within the subaudit or a group selection can be filtered it out. It's easy for the reviewer to do the review process or the further validation easily. So all your other legends also are convertible. So if there are any re-audit file, you could see here, or if you have anything on annexure side, you would want to see the, or if you want to see the handle issues, if there are any results would show up here. So now let me just take some other subaudit and select other. Okay, I have taken 4 groups for now. I'm selecting all the checkpoints. I'm just bring this in down. So here, if you could see, there are 2 checkpoints which already are being tagged as re-audit. If I would like to only select the file for re-audit, just click on this. It will show you only the re-audits. If you would want to see this, then multi-selection is on the review legends is also possible. I have selected file for re-audit and in review. Both information are available, and I'm removing this. You could see only the in review process. So this is how you can see this information in review. And I would also like to show the similar one in the annexure part. Let me just take again some in review. See if there are any audits in the annexure. Let me just select all this checkpoint, select the auditees. So now we have all reviewed. So now we would want to see only the not found cases. Just select the not found. You could see the not found, or you would want to see only. Let us just modify one of the information and see if we can. I'm just changing it to review of single PI, marking it as reviewed. So now I select all. So there are combinations which you could see. There's only one audit, so let me just take some other annexure group. So these are already not found available. So you can filter out on any information like this. Let me see if I have few more examples to show. Select this and select all. So here we have 3 which has already been executed. So let me just take 3 checkpoints, select all and click as reviewed. Now I click everything and all the sub-auditees. There are multiple, so you can choose only the reviewed one and see the option. So like this, you can verify the information from the screen. So this helps in reviewing the review audit. Module. So come back with queries. And queries, just allow me to check. Let me just. We saw on review audit. We saw on the improvements in spot and direct execution. We saw the schedule acceptance workflow. So what we have currently now is on the date range selection. So earlier we already had a date range available as a filter everywhere, but now we will be able to see the slight changes which we have brought in. So let me just quickly share the application, web application, where these changes can be seen. So now if you see in the issue module or in the schedule module, the date range what we had was schedule start and schedule start date and the end date. So whereas most of us were having a lot of confusion on this date range in the date filter what we have, considering that schedule start and the end is as a range, which whereas it was not a date range, either it was you could select the schedules by the schedule start, or you can just select by the schedule end and do the filter or the search from the respective screen. So as there were a lot of confusions getting created, we have modified this tabs into a date range at a schedule start date and at a schedule end date. Now the user can choose the schedule start date to the schedule to date, which says that where an user can see what all audits which has been scheduled from March 1st to 31st March can be selected here and pull out the information. So on click of this, I need to select the cluster. I'm selecting the cluster here. So all the audits all the issues which are pertaining to this schedule can be seen here. Similarly, in the date in your schedule screen also, the same date range has been introduced at a schedule start from and to schedule end. And even if the user would like to do the search from the only from the end date, he would want to know which are the audits which is there from 28th to 15th of the end date. What are the audits which are ended by then? So then he'll also be able to see this information. So if you would want to see this audits only for 1st of February, sorry, it should be here, 1st of February to 28th February, which are the audits which are scheduled from 1st of February to 28th February and has been ended from 28th February to 15th March, then you will be also able to pull out this information. So this gives a separate date range of information which can be seen This gives a different complete date range of information which can be seen at a different possibility here. So we have brought in this change. This change is currently available in schedule screen where you could see schedule start from schedule to start to and schedule end from and schedule end to. Similarly, in the issue module, this information can be seen. So this helps the user to give a more accurate information and the confusion of date range as an individual filter has been handled here. This is one more update which we had here. So if you have any queries, please do write to us. So there is a question which has been come up. What are the main difference between normal and spot resolution type? So here what we are doing is what we are doing here is we are tagging the resolution type. So resolution, if the auditor is executing the audit and part of the audit execution, he identifies the resolution from the auditee. He does a spot resolution and those resolution is been accepted by the reviewer or the super admin, then those resolutions are tagged as spot. And if the audits which are executed, issues which are identified are moving to the issue module on a regular forum where the auditee sends the resolution and which gets a verifier verify this and it goes into a normal mode. So what we are going to do a differentiation by tagging this type is to check if the issues are getting resolved even only during the by the audit execution time only or while the time of sign off process from the auditee, or it is waiting for the audit finalization and then the resolutions are been flowing. So and when if the normally after finalization when issues goes to the auditee, he takes time to fill it. So there isn't a normal way the auditee gives the resolution. So this indicator gives the performance from the auditee side also on how the resolutions are done. So how seriously the observations are being considered and the resolutions are done. So to give a clear indicator on when the resolution was done, these taggings are made available to the user. So we have one more question. So there was one point which someone had raised, that post selection of the filter selected data but not reflecting in screen. So if the whatever filter you have selected, the legend filter you have selected, if there is no relevant information, for example, if there are anything to be re-audited, the checkpoints are not part of it on selection of the legend. If there are no relevant search available, then the data would not be shown here. Otherwise, if the data is there, those data will be shown. What about auditor? Even he will get the issue resolution type. So if an auditor has an access to the issue module and he gets, if he has been part of the verifier and he can see those issues, yes, the resolution type will also be available for the auditor. Any more queries? So we'll just wait if there are any queries to see. Any questions, feedback or comments, please do share in the Q&A section. I have one more queries. If any is getting. I think I got one message that there was some network issue and you people did not hear me for a few minutes. So, Praveen, was there any point where I was not being heard? You want me to recover any of the point?
Yeah, during that spot resolution and spot resolution additional requirement, so there we lost you for 2 minutes.
Okay. So, just to update spot resolution on the issue tagging side, we have discussed. So, what we have additionally introduced is the color indicator in the spot and direct resolution, where this information on the color tagging on separately for spot and direct resolution is being given in the review audit module. And also all the spot and direct resolution needs to be handled where it could either be closed or reopened basis the resolution received from the auditor and an auditee respectively. And then post that only the further action on finalization would be possible. So these were the improvements which we had in the direct and spot resolution side. Any queries from anyone, please do write to us in the Q&A section. You can also share the feedback or any comment on the session. If you're looking for any specific webinar session on any of the feature or on a module, also please do write to us. We would be happy to take up such webinar. Or if you would are interested in any of the premium feature or would like to know more about the current feature and things, you can always reach us through Amaya or the support team where we can help you through this information. Would like to give a couple of minutes for any queries to come up. If there are no queries, then I think we can wind this up. So thank you each and everyone for joining this session and making time from your valuable busy schedule. So would appreciate you all to join this similar such sessions in the future. Thank you all once again. Pleasure having you all. Thank you. There are two more questions which is come. Is auditor have an option to choose? Okay, there is a question which has come stating that is auditor have option to choose resolution type during audit? The answer is no. The auditor can update the spot resolution. So only the spot resolution can be updated by the auditor. When he is executing the audit, he observes that the resolution is been already done and he is feels that this is a resolution, then he can update that as a spot resolution by giving the remarks and also sharing the proof of evidence for this resolution. All this tagging of resolution type can be done by the system basis the updates being provided. If the auditor updates a resolution, the system takes it as spot resolution on closure of the issue. And if the resolution is being provided by the auditee during the sign off process, even before it comes to the issue model, during the sign off process, if the resolution is being provided by auditee, then the system consider that as direct resolution. And in case if No resolution received while execution of the audit or to the sign off, and it goes to the normal issue module, and the resolution is received by the auditee or the respective auditee reviewer. Then those are tagged as normal resolution type. I hope I have answered your query. Any more queries, you can always write to us in Q&A section or reach us on Amaya. We will always be there to help you. So thank you all. Pleasure having you all. Thank you. Bye.